Good day, everyone. Welcome back to a Better Day podcast. My name is Katrina, and I am here with Leslie
Hello, everyone.
and Anthony.
Hello, how you doing? Happy New Year.
How are you?
I'm good.
Good. How are you, Leslie?
Amazing. Happy New Year. Happy new start of 2025. And it's going to be an amazing year for all of us.
2025.
Definitely happy. Really excited. And have 2024 brought a bunch of new things, and 2025 it's going to bring a new bundle of joy. So
For you
for me
and your wife.
and my wife. Yes,
Aw,
indeed. Yes,
congratulations.
Indeed. So how was your guys' New Year? What did you guys do? And was it you had fun? And what's your resolutions?
Well, to begin with, I was able to catch up with friends from out of town the 2 days, I think, or the day before the 31st. Which, I know these friends for over 14 years and I love them. They're amazing. They're amazing humans. So I was super happy. And then on the 31st, New Year's Eve, I spent it with my family and my pets and my mom and everybody. And it was very nice, intimate family. So safe and sound.
Yeah, that's important.
Yeah.
Especially, I feel the older that we get, that's more important than anything.
More important. What was I at an exchange of presents with Lori and an amazing networking team that she put together, and we were all talking about the importance of this holiday season, and it's more so about family and about union and connection rather than presence and all this stuff. So at one point in life, I think all those material things come to second place. And the most important thing is the connection and the people that we have in our lives that matter the most.
Mm-hmm.
I agree.
I like that you said connection. I did something different this year, and typically I'll go to like Hard Rock or fancy dinner or something extravagant where you have to get all dressed up and do all that. Well, this year I brought in the New Year just worshiping. I was just with a bunch of people, and it was
Fellowship.
really it was just really great.
I saw those pictures on your Facebook, and just the energy, you can tell that it was awesome.
Yeah, it was beautiful. We had a good time.
Yeah, I did the same thing. Didn't post though. My first day, we had an impromptu kind of like meeting of the friends. It's we call it an informal get together or something of the sort. And it was an idea of one of my wife's friends, and she's like, "Yo, we should come over. You guys have a new place. We've been living there since August, and we haven't had anybody over yet." Officially, it's still not officially, but we just sent the invite out same day. Hey, bring whatever you'd want to have or whatever the case may be. So my friend Frosty, he brought a bunch of stuff. He bought speakers because he cooks. He's a vegan and he cooks vegan meals. I don't know how to cook for him, so I say, hey, bring whatever you want to eat.
Right.
But I said that to everybody. And so he brought a whole bunch of stuff to cook. He bought avocados, and he made banana fritters and stuff. So he was cooking in the kitchen, and I'm like, normally that's not, when someone comes to your house for the first time, they don't cook in your kitchen. But I'm like, hey, listen, it's something new. We're going to try something different. And her friend made the guacamole, and then, just had everybody over, had a good time. We were going to play, we're going to have a game night. None of us even played games. We just all talked.
Aw, see, that's great.
Yeah. So, it's interesting. I feel like it's more interesting when you don't have to play games. Some people play games here and there, and then the guys just kind of went off into my office and just started making beats or started.
Started playing with your toys.
Yeah, and then the ladies were out there. So it's fun. Yeah.
So you had a good time.
Great, amazing. I think it should be like that every year.
And that was the first year that you got to bring it in with your wife.
No, well, as my wife.
As your wife.
As my wife, yes. But we did New Year's 2 times before, right? So 2020.
Was that 3 and 22?
You better get that right.
No. Wait, no.
24,
2023. We went in Miami. We were in Miami from 2022 to 2023. We did an event in Miami, and then 2023 to 2024 we went to church, and we did the same thing this year with
nice.
church. So yeah,
okay.
But yeah,
That's beautiful. So for our podcast, we shared a lot in 2024. We shared resilience and stories and a lot of struggles with mental health and how to overcome them. And I just want to reflect back on that with you guys. Reflect on some of the events that we did. The big event with Believe, and what our goals are for 2025. As weird as that is to say, it's 2025. I remember when it was 2000.
Time is flying. And as we get older, it goes faster.
It is.
Yeah, it does.
It is.
I wonder if it's going faster or are we slowing down?
I don't know. But going back to 2024, I think it was an amazing year for us. We did a lot of things. We accomplished a lot of stuff. You want to do a little recap?
Yeah, well, we started out 2024. When did we start this podcast?
Oh, so the first day, I think it's actually September. Let me pull it up. I believe it is the exact date.
In September.
For our first episode.
And that was all about just
Oh,
kind of...
I lied. August 8th. And that was ACEs and risky behavior, understanding the impact of childhood trauma. That was the part 1. Part 2 came on the 14th. So August 8th was our first episode. For actually, technically not, because it's season 2.
Right.
Yeah. But for 2024, that was our first episode.
Wow.
So just for ACEs, Leslie, what did you see different starting at the year and ending at the year with A Better Day and with the businesses that we've opened up?
Oh my goodness. So with ACEs, I think we acquire a lot of more experience. So at the beginning, I think we're kind of shy, and we kind of like, it still feels a little bit not that easy to speak about ACEs. But as we promote and we raise awareness about what it is, it makes you feel more comfortable, and you become you become more experienced and more at ease, and then you feel like to build more rapport with somebody that perhaps you can identify that needs the support, and that it becomes like second nature. Mm-hmm. To me, it becomes a lot of second. I mean, how many people did we serve? I was just alone. I don't know, this year, just to talking and speaking with them on the phone, I would say like 700 people.
Wow.
That I personally spoke with throughout the year, right, on the phone about this type of experiences. And I think that alone, it gives you so much experience by, talking about what ACEs is, and makes you feel more comfortable. And then I researched and I did classes, and I took classes about psychology, about other types of trauma, tactics, and all that stuff. And I think I feel very confident that I'm more equipped now than I was when I first started promoting and raising awareness about ACEs.
Mm-hmm. And I would say for myself, definitely starting out in 2024, and maybe even before that, because I've been with A Better Day for a while now. But I would say starting out to the end of 2024, I would say that I definitely feel more like an advocate fully, because learning about ACEs, I also learn more about myself.
It like triggers you, and it brings up a lot of your traumas. I mean, with me, I feel the same way. Mm-hmm. I feel like it helped me encounter a lot of things that they were deep down in my subconscious that, as a either coping mechanism or survival mode, that sometimes when you experience trauma, you live in survival mode, and you're sometimes not even 100% fully aware.
Right. And we had the honor of some of these like Mandela, some of these arts and crafts and events and some other coping skills that we learned along the way.
We were able to build a lot of alliances with mm-hmm. other organizations, like you said, the Mandela School, that helps you a lot, and the canine assisted therapy rescue. That's a beautiful thing because they're dogs, and I'm a dog lover. And other organizations that, all the organizations that supported the Believe event in October, mm-hmm. they play a huge role in helping the community with, boxing, for instance, helps kids to release that anger and also train them with the skills that, who knows, maybe one day will save their lives. You never know.
Mm-hmm. And at the Believe event, we had help me out here. We had boxing, we had yoga, Mandela art therapy, drum
Capoeira,
circle. Yeah.
circle, boxing. They were doing color painting,
Oh, the paint. Yeah,
the
that was
art.
that was beautiful.
Yeah, we have a
And
lot
some
of things,
speakers.
and the good thing is that we're still good in connection with all these community allies, and they're gonna be working with us throughout the year at the workshops that we're gonna be doing.
Mm-hmm. And we're going to have workshops monthly. And we'll be announcing those.
Mm-hmm. Workshops, networking events with Lori for other people, professionals, and so on. So
And Lori's what was that?
group for a cause.
Grew for a cause. I like that.
Yeah, it was so much fun. I remember there was a lady that she mentioned she's a parent of 2 kids, that she was working 2 jobs, and she was like, I'm so burned out. This is amazing that we were able to come out and have fun. Then there are other, networking groups that we are associated with, and we're going to be doing a lot of things, a lot of, collaborations.
Yeah, and those volunteers, I already started lining them up because we obviously have our continuous events and volunteer work this year. We still are with OVG for the soccer games.
Oh, yes. And we need volunteers. Anybody that
do.
wants to come and have fun with us. The new season is coming up, and there are going to be a lot of new games starting February. So please feel free to reach out, because we're going to go to the stadium and have a good time.
And we had so much fun. We get to watch the soccer games and hang around, and it's good experience to for some people to get back in the community that have been isolated from the community for a little bit.
This is something good that you mentioned, because a lot of people, when you are isolated, you don't even realize, but you become a little bit of antisocial.
Mm-hmm.
So how do you start building your social skills back up, right? But sometimes doing things that make you uncomfortable, and the things that can make you uncomfortable is being surrounded other people. However, as long as you have a good support group from the peers, from the people that you feel comfortable with, it makes that transition as smooth. And we've seen it with people, and I'm telling you, because I'm sharing it from my own experience. When during the pandemic, and I'm social because I have to be social, but before the pandemic, I was going out, I was interacting with other people, going to network groups, going to events. During the pandemic, I ended up isolating myself. And then recently, last year, so that's 2 years after the pandemic, I started going out, and I noticed myself that I felt so uncomfortable, and I felt like, no, I want to go back home. And imagine to somebody that, as it is, they're not just to socialize a lot. So, but as long as your support group is strong and they're there with you, walking with you through this path of going back to the routine, it's important. And
I like that you said that, because it's almost like we feel like we were holding each other's hands.
yes, and that's pretty much what we're doing without actually doing. And sometimes we physically do it anyways, but yeah.
If it's needed, if it's a need.
Let me tell you, hug, and we're gonna overcome this, don't worry. And then as they do it more frequent, they start feeling more comfortable. And once they start feeling more comfortable, they even start to build up their self-esteem. Because there's a lot of things that, I cannot do. No, I cannot. I'm not good enough for this. I'm not good enough for that. And your mind your mind by default tends to be more negative than positive. And when that happens, and you have this assurance by your peers, the support group that you have, no, you can do it. You can do it. Start building your self-esteem that yes, you can accomplish anything that you set your mind to it. And then you're learning new skills, even bossing tables, uh, warming up the things, anything that has to deal with the hospitality aspect of it is a new skill that you're learning, and it could be useful even finding a new job if you that's what you desire to do.
I like that you mentioned that because that is something that that I want to make sure that we keep in mind, that these volunteers that volunteer with us, they can put that on their resume.
Mm-hmm.
They can use those hours for community service.
Yes, community service is fun. And then the team at OVG, the Oak View Group, they're amazing. They treat you well. They welcome you. I mean, they're very supportive of us, and I'm very appreciative to them, to Ryan, Jordan. They are super nice. They also did an appreciation dinner for us, and they cooked.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you and I went to represent the nonprofit. Everybody was super busy, but it was very nice that they took the time to appreciate their vendors and allies.
Yeah, no, and that reminds me that this month on the 18th, we're going to have a volunteer appreciation cookout.
Picnic, yeah, we're gonna be
Yeah.
cooking for our volunteers and team, and we're gonna have a good time, and we're gonna enjoy outdoors, and it's gonna be fantastic for us to spend time together again, not serving people, but just building that strong bond that we already have.
And that's going to be in Boca. that
Red
day.
Reef Park.
Red Reef Park.
In Boca.
Ah, it's on the beach, right?
Mhm.
Yeah,
Ah, I'm familiar with that.
it's nice.
Yeah,
It's
you
a
know
really
Red
nice
Reef.
location.
Yeah, I took pictures there, engagement photos.
It's pretty.
Yeah, it's really dope.
Yeah, they're even. I think some people do weddings there too.
I think I've snorkeled there too.
Yeah, it's nice. Just make sure that you park across the street because the parking in Boca, especially in that area, have increased significantly.
Oh,
So
yeah.
there are meters across the street, so you can park there. That's public parking.
Okay. Yeah, definitely keep that in mind.
Yeah.
Yeah, just reach out to one of us if anyone has any questions.
Okay.
So, some of the other things that we did in 2024 that really meant a lot to me is some of the guests that we brought on here.
Amazing people that even listening to their stories, we learn so much, and it's so rewarding because that's the most important thing is the reward that we get. I get, and I don't want to talk for you, but I think the overall reward that we get is to know that they have overcome so many challenges and they're doing so good that shows the light at the end of the tunnel for a lot of people that perhaps could be in their conditions right now.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we went from meeting with Oriel, who, was a guest for the Breaking Generational Trauma for the African American culture. And we went from that to Matthew from Fellowship, who we talked about case management and how he was incarcerated and how he overcame all of that.
All the struggles, even just as simple as getting back his driver license, right? But he persevered and he was consistent and he wanted to do it and he did it. He got everything. He has an amazing job and he's doing great.
Oh, yeah. And speaking of that, Amanda, my director for Roots to Recovery, she came on and she had an amazing story about, when she came into us years ago, and then getting sober and then getting married and becoming manager, becoming director. And now she has a child. She just moved out. Her and her husband and her child just got a place.
Those are the successful stories that makes my heart happy to see that somebody that struggled with addiction now is living a really functional life with a husband, with a kid, and they're building a home together.
Right. Successfully. I mean, she started out homeless.
That's amazing. No? That just puts a smile on my face.
A great comeback story.
I love these testimonials.
Yeah.
And so in 2025, that will be something that I personally make sure that I follow through on. We get in more guests. more testimonials.
And we're also going to get professional people that,
course.
that they can give us advice, either if it's in a mental health space or also a business space, business coaches that, if people sometimes they need a little bit of help with the finances. One of the biggest stressors and even cause of divorce is financial.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of people don't know, and they have not been told how to manage their cash flow. And that is super important because that can make you or break you.
Right.
So we're going to have, guests that can help us with our finances. And even if you want to open up an LLC and become your own, you have like goals to be an entrepreneur, we can help you, guide you how to open up an LLC. We want you to be successful.
With minimum funds, because that is possible.
It is possible.
We've done it.
Let me tell you, I've done it too. I've been up and down and then building from pretty much zero up. Sometimes you hear stories like, yeah, I opened my $1 million company. What was the funding? 5,000. I'm right there. So it is possible.
Yeah. No, it definitely is possible. We're going to touch base on that in 2025.
Yeah, I don't want to impose anything to anybody, but and I'm very respectful of people's religion, but I have an amazing relationship with God, and if it wasn't for that, I don't know where would I be right now. So I'm thankful to God for everything, all the experiences, and for making me who I am and being with me always, regardless. Sometimes I can be a very stubborn and difficult child, but He's there with me. So thank you, God.
Yeah,
Amen.
absolutely. One of the other topics that we discussed this year was a great topic that we had with Anthony.
And that was, that reference to the dark triad?
It
I believe
is,
it was.
yeah.
Yeah. And that's in reference to he who shall not be named. But as you know, there are a lot of people out there, especially I think COVID really exposed it, who are dealing with people who are have dark psychological tendencies. For, I think that was the Machiavellianism, psychopathy, I think it is what they said. And then the narcissism.
Right.
And, kind of briefly went over that and touched on that. I didn't coin the phrase, by the way. I think the first place I heard it was Dr. Peterson, I believe it is.
Where's he from?
He's a Canadian professor. It was very controversial at one point, but Jordan Peterson, I think it is. Dr. Jordan Peterson. He's a college professor.
Oh, yeah.
A college professor from the Canada. And that's where I first heard the phrase, and then I realized like that is integral part of what can cause people to have psychological or have ACEs if they're dealing with people like that who is be it as a parent or caregiver, and then the effects of living that life where you might not be able to reach out to people because you out of fear that people won't believe you, right? So that that can be traumatic in and of itself in dealing with people of that nature. So.
Well, 2025 is going to be an amazing year for all of us. We're going to keep on building a strong bonds with other charities, community, and building a bigger team. I hope that they can help us. If we always need volunteers.
Yeah, please reach out. And we can get you set up. We're here in Palm Beach County and Broward.
Mm-hmm. And Katrina is always available for anybody that needs support especially in recovery. So
yeah, absolutely. And you can always give me a call or shoot me a message. 561-777-0045.
Or you can reach out to us at info@forabetterDayFoundation.org. Check out our website, which is the same as www.forabetterDayFoundation.org, and check out our programs. And there's also a link to become a volunteer.
On that website as well, on the top, there's a link for this podcast.
Yes. Download, listen, share.
Mm-hmm. So the one thing that I want to personally take in from 2024 to 2025 was some of the topics that we discussed right before 2024 ended. You know, grace and the holidays, and getting through some of the challenges. Dealing with grief and mental health, and taking all that positivity into 2025. How so for myself, I was dealing with grief through the holiday seasons. I overcame that by making sure I had support around me. Make sure I didn't isolate. Making sure that I did go worship on, New Year's. How did you deal with that?
Me, setting up boundaries. That's my new goal, because I always been a people pleaser. I will always, if somebody was in need, I will always put a person first, and I will put other people's needs. Even when it comes to business projects, somebody will come up with an amazing idea, and they will talk me into doing this and that for them, and I will always say, yeah, this can help the person be successful. But not everybody has the same heart. So I'm starting to, and that's one of my goals, boundaries. I'm starting to say no and prioritize my family, my health, my friends, especially those friends that they would always be there for me through everything. The real ones, I would say, the real ones, and they know who they are. So I'm starting to prioritize, because time is precious and it doesn't come back. It's the only currency that does not come back. So money you can always make back, make again, but time,
Right.
wasted time, it will never come back. So I'm starting to appreciate more time than anything else. Or maybe before I didn't appreciate time as much as I do now, and especially the people surrounds me that I love the most.
Sounds like to me you're just refocusing.
Yeah.
On what's important, or the most important.
Prioritizing. Even my projects with business. I'm like, you have so many projects going on, and I'm like, no, that doesn't want to work. If it didn't work out in a year, and there's people waiting 10 years to have something work out, it's not going to work out. So therefore, I'm prioritizing the things that I'm passionate about and that I'm good at. So they pay off. And then by paying off, I know if I'm 100% doing better, and if my mind is 100% good, I'm going to be able to serve others better, those that need the most. And those are the ones that, I'm eager to help. So,
yeah, we were just talking about this, about, taking care of yourself, taking care of your home before taking care of,
you cannot pour from an empty cup. So
right.
That's what I have that in my head now.
Yeah, so you hear that? Go into 2025. You cannot pour from an empty cup. Make sure your self-care and yourself is full.
And ask for help. If you need help, ask for help. We're here to help you. We have the resources. You need mental health assistance. You need dual diagnosis support, insurance. We're here to support you. Recovery, sober living. I mean, we have a lot of community allies, and we have the resources to assist you. Sometimes the timelines is a little bit sensitive. Keep in mind that we're also helping other people. So it's based on need also.
Right. Anthony, in 2024, any struggles that you overcame?
Overcame and identified as well. So
that's strong. Identified.
I'd say 2024 into 2025. But what I realized is that struggles I overcome and identified. One of the struggles I identified is the imposter syndrome. I don't know if you ever heard of that. I think that's something that is, if not similar, but likely in what I'm going through, in that my ability to do something and then me believing that I'm not. Let me look it up and give an actual definition, right? So imposter syndrome, according to Google, is when you doubt your own skills and success, in a nutshell. And in general, the feelings of you're not as talented or worthy as others believe, and you're scared that one day people will realize that.
Oh, wow.
So yeah, identified that, and then realized that even as we got our apartment, me and my wife, we got married and all that other stuff, and even as that learned, like, okay, it's learned, and me, I have to learn how to empathize instead of sympathize, because I don't think I can sympathize with people. That's one of the things I realize I have an issue with, per se, and that's what I have to work through, because for me, I kind of just accepted a long time ago that, like, and I was having this conversation, it's like, oh, no one's coming to save you, that type mentality. But then realizing and embracing the idea, there's certain people you can't help if you're not able to identify or understand what they're going through and how to help them, right? So I kind of realized that. I was like, oh, that's deep, and it's like a nutshell. Like it's something you got to figure out and work out through. But yeah, that's one thing I identified. And if I'm going to be an amazing father, these are things I got to work through now in order to be able to, help my children. So yeah, this is a whole university's worth of work to do in that regard. But also there's a lot of positive, and that came in 2024. I'm not alone. Like my wife had to constantly tell me, say, hey, you're not doing this alone. You know? So yeah, because I'm like to try to do everything by myself. I got it. I'm doing it now. It's good to have help. And so, okay, yeah, you don't got to do everything on your own and stuff like that. So yeah, that's what I'm taking away from 24. I don't know if I answered your question. I probably just went on a rant.
No, you did.
Okay.
You did. I'm curious how you are. So you identified that, and then what actions are you putting into place to change that, to make those changes?
So if I'm being honest, the only way I can see to rectify that is scripture and prayer. And not to beat anybody over the head with the Bible, but scripture and prayer, that's the only thing that helps you identify that. A lot of the successful business entrepreneurs, they take their practices and philosophies and principles directly from the Bible. I knew that from before, but then also there's restoration in learning these virtues and principles that you apply into your life. And like, it's like right there. So much as simple as reading your Bible. There's another book. I don't remember the name. My wife just bought, and we're 2 chapters in, and I'm like, that's you. And this paragraph is you. That paragraph is me. I'm like, oh, okay. So that's part of where I'm like, oh, okay. So I need to identify these characteristics and how to rectify them. Because it's like, how is somebody who wrote a book who doesn't even know me, like, can describe me so well? It's like, it's a pattern. So then that means that they have the solution to it as well, and it's based on scriptures pulled from the Bible.
Oh, that's.
So yeah, I gotta get that book though. The book for you.
Do you know what that book's called?
I don't. I can probably text her and have her. I'll send it to you. But yeah, we read that I think either last night or night before, and I was like, ooh, yeah, that's you, that's me, oof. And then we had like a long discussion after, and it kind of helped me understand. And that's part of the reason why I said like 2025, because I realized, there's certain things it's hard for me to like identify. I can't see because I just kind of turned that perspective off a long time ago. So it can go to. It's kind of a long story, but yeah. So being able to empathize is very important, but and I think it's good for boundaries, like
our last guest was
like our last guest was saying. But I lost my train of thought. Yeah, no, but sympathizing is something I really have an issue with, because I don't deal with my own emotions as much, so I typically don't like to be inundated with someone else's, and that's what it feels like. So that's what I realized, and I kind of shut that off a long time ago. So now it makes it hard for me to see, like, I'm like trying to solve issues instead of listening.
And what that reminds me of is it takes me back to one of our first podcasts about generational trauma.
Yes.
I just heard as you're speaking, that's what I heard. Heard you, this is what I was taught. This is what that generational trauma that you're going to have to work through. But, you've identified it.
Mm-hmm.
That's a big one.
The most important part.
Yeah.
And then work on it.
And what I really appreciate, I don't know if anyone else caught that, but you're not just working on it alone. You're working on it with your wife.
Have to. Mm-hmm. The two became one. You can't. I can't work on myself and not her. Mm-hmm. And it can go bad either way. Where if I'm improving, but she's not, you don't want that. Or and or she's improving, you're not. You don't want to do that.
Right. So, you're growing together.
Yeah.
Right.
That's the only way to grow.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Do you have your favorite moment of 2024?
Oh my goodness. I am just grateful for everything that happened to me. Yeah. My favorite 2024. Yeah.
Like one special.
Can I say it here? One of my favorite moments of 2024 was my trip to Jamaica and also my trip to California.
Yeah. So trips.
My 2 trips.
She likes to travel.
Jamaica.
I love to travel.
Jamaica was special for you, right?
Jamaica was super special because I was able to experience like not the tourist life of Jamaica, actually how locals live, and we went there to support an event to provide healthcare to where was it? A drop-off center. It's like a homeless shelter.
Okay.
There are people there with actually too with mental health illnesses. But if you talk about mental health illnesses, here sometimes, we have resources. Now imagine the struggles of a homeless in a country that doesn't have the resources.
Right.
So, yeah, we painted the room. My friend Nancy donated medical equipment, and we turned that room into something beautiful so people can get the continual care that they need. I painted. I got on a ladder and I started. It was beautiful. It was fun. And one of the things that I remember the most about the event is that one guy got a nail clipper, and he was like, I got a nail clipper, and he took off his socks and he started clipping his nails. He was just so happy with that he was able to cut his toenails.
Something so simplistic that you wouldn't think about in your everyday routine.
Yeah.
But it meant so much to him.
It's insane that now every day, our ordinary days is something that somebody's praying for.
Mm-hmm. Keep that in mind.
I always keep that. And let me tell you, I'm so grateful to God for where I am right now and the opportunity that I have to help other people.
Yeah, and we're very blessed.
And my trip to California.
Yeah, what was that one about?
I can't disclose that one, but it was super. All listeners, if Australia is listening to me, it was amazing. Thank you.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Mm-hmm. Maybe you never know, but yeah, it was fun. I like hiking, so I went hiking, and that's all about I want to share.
I love hiking. Every year we go hiking. I go to Colorado with just a bunch of females, and it was great this past year. Yeah. You'll have to go with us next year.
I want to go to Bali.
Yeah, that's on our list to do.
Oh, yeah, Bali's really nice. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I saw somebody had me edit their honeymoon video in Bali, and they went swimming with the fishes and the dolphins. Oh, it's beautiful.
It's beautiful. Yeah. We'll get there. Mm-hmm. Well,
thank you for everything, guys, and keep in touch.
Follow
us.
Yeah, I'm glad we got to recap a little bit.
Yeah,
this was nice.
It was fun. It was a lot of good things.
It was. Until next time, everyone.